Elden Ring is one of the best Souls games ever made by From Software. To be honest, it's a game that I can say is very welcoming to other gamers who want to explore other types of games. Now that the DLC has been released today, this is the most anticipated day for the community. And in this video, I will show you the things you should know before playing the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. First things first, before entering the Shadow Realm, make sure that you have enough stats and complete equipment. Even if you're over-leveled, it doesn't matter because the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC will have a different leveling system where your damage and damage taken are different from the lands between. So I really suggest that completing your equipment and upgrading your weapons are your keys to eliminating enemies in the Shadow Realm. Make sure to bring different kinds of equipment sets that will help you fight different bosses. So better finish your first playthrough in the lands between before entering the Shadow Realm, because I'm telling you it's going to be so difficult if you're still missing out on those OP talismans and weapons. Make sure to collect them all. Second, like what I've said earlier, the leveling system is different from what you've achieved in the lands between. If your character is at its peak in the lands between, then it'll make a difference when it comes to the Shadow Realm. Meaning anything and everything that happens there only exists there. But make sure to bring the experience you've gained fighting those demigods. So, what you need in order to increase your damage and lessen the damage taken is to find these Erdtree fragments that will strengthen your Erdtree blessing. The Erdtree blessing bolsters the ability to deal and negate damage, but has no influence outside the realm of shadow. Erdtree fragments can be found anywhere as you explore the game. I won't spoil any information on where you can find them, just explore. And I'm pretty sure you'll spot one of them that's very close to the start of Shadow Realm. As you bolster your Erdtree blessing, then Shadow Realm enemies will be easy for you. Third, NG+ does matter in the game. It'll make the game more difficult, and the Shadow Realm will humble you. Each NG+ difficulty, up to NG+7, increases enemy damage and health, while reducing how much stance damage they take. They stagger less, hit harder, and don't die as fast. In previous From Software titles, the enemies in the DLCs have scaled alongside the NG cycle, making them more difficult. But if you're really confident in what you have in the lands between, then try it out with the NG+. And if you make it, congratulations, and if not, then you're screwed. Well, you've made that choice for making it to NG+, to have a more thrilling experience in the DLC. So, no worries, just enjoy the process. And remember that your first playthrough of the DLC is what you've experienced in the year 2022. Pure happiness, thrill, and excitement whenever you surpass all bosses after many defeats, and that experience is gold. Fourth, if you're the type of gamer that uses summons as backup in fighting bosses, you will need to find this: Revered Spirit Ashes. Revered Spirit Ashes are bolstering materials in the Elden Ring that improve your Revered Spirit Ash blessing, which affects how much damage your Spirit Ashes can deal and negate in the Shadow of the Erdtree. They'll also change how much damage your Spectral Steed, Torrent, can take, making your journey around the Realm of Shadow a little easier. So if you're a Mimic or Black Knife Tish enjoyer, don't ignore the Revered Spirit Ash and bolster it in the Sight of Graces. You and your Spirit Ash need to keep up in the Shadow Realm, so collect the Erdtree fragment and Revered Spirit Ash to conquer the Shadow Realm. Fifth, there are new weapons out there that can be found in the Shadow of the Erdtree, so make sure you have enough smithing stones and somber smithing stones so you can try those new weapons as you explore the Shadow Realm. Like in the lands between, the weapons can be found in some dead bodies, chests, or by defeating some bosses. If you really want to try it, make sure to have enough runes and stones for it. If the base game has 300+ weapons, in the DLC, there are 90+ total weapons you can find, meaning you can create more builds depending on the stats you have from the lands between. These are the confirmed weapon types within the Elden Ring. Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Beast Claws, Great Katanas, Hand-to-Hand Arts, Light Greatswords, Perfume Bottles, Reverse Hand Swords, Throwing Weapons, Thrusting Shields. Sixth, Remembrances. If the base game has 15 remembrances, meaning there are 15 major bosses, Then the DLC will have 10 remembrances and 10 major bosses in the Shadow Realm. The DLC will have 50 plus total bosses, including those major bosses. So imagine the time you'll spend in the game if you want to defeat all of those bosses. The DLC is really a huge expansion of the base game, so better get ready for the incoming bosses on your way. 7th, map. The size is pretty huge for a DLC, and in fact, it's bigger than other AAA games out there that cost $70. For the map comparison, my estimation is that it's almost similar to Limbrave and Caelid combined, less or more. Imagine how wide and big the Limbrave was when you first started the game. That's how it felt. 8th, new tiers, consumables, and tools. There are massive additions to these things in the game. Of course, I won't spoil those things. All I can say is that there are some upgrades to those existing items in the base game, and there are new things that can make your experience more fun and exciting. I'm also amazed that there's a kind of tier that is for spirits, which is called Glovewort Crystal tier, which means the developers really support the existence of the spirits in the game. There are also great tiers that can be used for new styles of builds, but it's up to you to explore and find those new items in the game. 9th, when it comes to DLC, of course it's also rich in lore, so if you've encountered any NPC in the game, exhaust all of the dialogues so you can progress and unlock areas, because it might be the key to progression. You know that talking to NPCs will progress the quest line in the game. Since we don't have guides or anyone knowledgeable about these NPCs, make sure to be cautious in every dialogue and, of course, understand the story. Last, enjoy the Shadow Realm. These kinds of DLCs are very rare and one of the most rated DLCs of all time, so make sure to enjoy every single piece of them. Explore every area and defeat all kinds of bosses. Always remember that your first playthrough will define how you enjoy the game, so make sure to prioritize it. That's all the things you must know before playing the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching.